Look, guys, I know it's not the best way to start off your new work and school week, but it is what it is. This is what Mother Nature is handing us, and this is what we have to work with. We're looking at clouds and some areas of sun out there today. Overall, I do think that the dull conditions will likely win out more often than not. Now, we have a cold front approaching tomorrow. That's going to be squeezing the winds, and they're going to be changing direction, so that should get us into the upper 60s or lower 70s, and then we're below average for a few days. I think maybe by the weekend we climb up back to where we should be. So it's going to be a constant battle with the cold to the north, the warmth down to the south. We're going to call it the Great Divide. Eventually, this pattern will ease. It's just lingering, and it doesn't want to leave. We've had more of a winter pattern in the spring than we had in the winter, believe it or not. It's absurd. 54 right now in Hammonton, 54 in Mays Landing, 51 in Tuckerton, 50 in Media, same thing in Doylestown, 53 in the courthouse, and in Cape May. That cold front that is slicing across the Ohio Valley will bring some thunderstorms, maybe even some severe weather out over western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, but we're not looking at any of that coming our way. Clouds, some sun today. Thunderstorms stay put over western Pennsylvania and will fizzle through the course of the day, so none of that is going to encroach on our area. Tomorrow, I think clouds will win out, generally speaking. We'll throw in the chance of some rain late in the day, early into Wednesday morning as well. So for today, I'm thinking lower 60s mainland, 50s at the beaches, east-southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles an hour, maybe a little bit higher up to 15 miles an hour at the shore. For tonight, generally across the entire area, low to mid 50s. So it's a comfortable night. Tomorrow, if we have enough sunshine, lower 70s is where we go. But if it's a completely overcast day, you're going to subtract maybe 5 or 6 degrees off of this number, and you'll end up in the upper 60s. Here's your 7-day forecast. Bright sunny skies, but cooler temperatures on Wednesday and Thursday, just shy of 60 degrees. And then going into Friday and Saturday, actually right where we should be.
What I love about Hammonton the most is the people that live here.
The people are fantastic.
La calidad de las personas.
The way the community gets together.
It seemed like a sense of community.
Yeah, strong sense of community.
I love how sincere everyone in Hammonton is.
We're also rooted in tradition here.
The traditions among the town.
The art.
Activities and sports.
The bar and restaurant scene.
Events. Friends and families.
The small town feel of Hammonton.
I would love to see Hammonton have more biking trails.
I feel like we need to expand more on the arts.
There can be more inclusivity with everybody.
I'd like to see the diversity continue.
More outdoor dining.
More playground equipment that's updated.
Accessible playgrounds and open spaces.
Downtown they should have more stores and stuff, for people to go in.
More police officers on duty at night.
Even more artists.
I would like to see a movie theater here.
Más eventos comerciales.
More people here need to get more involved.
I think it's important to get involved.
It would be nice to see more people involved because it really is a wonderful town.
Hammonton Heart and Soul is Grassroots, an apolitical project that aims to connect people with what they love about where they live. A small group of Hammonton volunteers have worked collectively to help get this project going. We've been around town chatting with residents and having candid conversations, asking what their hopes and dreams are for the future of Hammonton. We want to collect more stories. We want your story. And we are intentionally seeking out the voices of those who are rarely heard. We seek to first determine what matters to the people of Hammonton and then use this information to steer change rather than simply respond to it. Through Heart and Soul, we hope to be able to identify the qualities that Hammonton residents really treasure. The people, the places, the experiences that make us who we are. We are just beginning our work, and we want to hear from many more of you. Once we collect and review the information, we will use this data as a launching pad for local businesses, community leaders, and organizations to steer the course of our collective future. We aim to grow in a manner that Hammonton residents will embrace and trust. We ask you to consider participating in Heart and Soul and share your insights with us. Help us to build a home we love. Together, we can help create change to make Hammonton better for all of us.
Just a reminder, if you notice this beautiful badge that Sergeant Sean Grasso is wearing is to remind people about April being Autism Month. If you see any of our officers wearing our autism badge, we're donating personally to Camp Sun and Fun, which is a wonderful organization that helps out children and young adults with autism and cognitive disabilities. It's a great place for them to feel safe, and it's an important thing. A lot of people in our community are affected. So we're gonna talk a little bit later about the Shawnee Shoe Hands 5K. Can I catch back up with you in a few?
Awesome.
All right, I'll see you. Greetings and welcome to the latest episode of Chat with the Chief. It is the 14th of April. It was great getting to talk with Sergeant Grasso out at the Lake Park about our autism awareness, and we're going to get back with him in just a bit to talk about the Shawnee Shoe Hands 5K and Hero 1 Mile Hero Walk. So we'll go back to him in just a few. But before we do, just want to remind everyone that we also have our You Text, You Drive, You Pay Distracted Driver Grant going on. It is sponsored by the National Highway Traffic Safety. It is a grant initiative to help to reduce collisions and crashes on our roadways and keep our roadways safer. The project goes on from April 1st through April 30th, and you will notice, and probably have noticed, there are more officers detailed to running motor vehicle checks, looking for distracted drivers, and executing motor vehicle stops for those distracted drivers. So again, just giving everybody the advance notice, we want everyone to drive safely, courteously, so giving everyone the heads up on keeping your heads up and not down in your lap watching your cell phone. Right, so our Easter egg extravaganza is going on tomorrow. We have partnered with Main Street and downtown Hammonton to help with the Easter egg extravaganza that's going on tomorrow, Friday, the 15th of April, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and that's going to be located on 2nd Street, South 2nd Street, between Bellevue Avenue and Vine Street, adjacent to the Toy Mart. They're going to be doing their egg drop.
Good evening, Hammonton. We're going to resume our meeting of April 25th. I apologize for being about 10 minutes late out of executive session. It's approximately 7:10. Roll call, please, Frank.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Here.
Gribben?
Here.
Oliva? I know he's here. He's just stepped away for a minute. Olivo?
Here.
Rodeo?
Here.
Woolerman?
Present.
Mayor DiDonato?
Here.
Present also Mike Malinsky, Town Solicitor, Robert Batiste, Public Works Manager, Mark Herman of ARH, Town Engineer. Notice of this meeting has been posted and given to official newspapers. Please familiarize yourself with the fire exits to the right and rear of council chambers. Please do not proceed beyond the front benches without invitation from the mayor to do so. Also, each person who wishes to address council will be allotted 5 minutes.
All rise for the pledge, please, and remain standing after, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to have a moment of silence for Officer, on my right is Officer or Corporal? Was he Corporal right at the end? Corporal Jones, who passed on late March. It was either the 30th or 31st, and he's much beloved and much missed. Please. Thank you. Two opportunities for the public to be heard on action items is the first one. So if anybody would like to be heard on action items, please step to the mic. Seeing no one, we'll close that portion of the public. I'd accept the motion for the approval of the executive and regular council meeting of March 28th, please.
So moved.
Olivo first.
Second.
Second, Gribben. Discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain, since I was not present.
Motion carried. We're going to dispense with the regular order of business. We have a presentation for. Excuse me, I wasn't here either. Sorry, I forgot. You're going to, okay. Let the record show that
Councilman Rodeo.
Rodeo and Oliva recused. We have a Tree City presentation. Dan Bachalis, please step to the mic.
Thank you, Mayor. Dan Bachalis, the Hammonton Environmental Commission. This will be relatively brief, I promise. I don't have any props or for show and tell because, we always have a couple of irons in the fire, and I got involved with some of those things today, so I don't have the flag or whatever to show you. Last year around this time, I came to you with our first ever Tree City USA designation. And I said at that time that we would be back next year, and we will continue to make application to achieve Tree City USA designation. And I'm here to tell you that we did apply and got it swimmingly, if I may say so myself. In fact, the amount of funding that we applied to tree-related activities practically doubled over the past year, which included the planting of over 100 trees in our tree bank, of 50 trees in our tree bank, 50 trees at the Moss Mill Recreation Complex, and of course, the much heralded Salem oak that we received from the state. We just recently had a mid-year inspection, or midway inspection on the Community Stewardship Incentive Program grant that gave us those trees. Two folks came down from the State DEP Forestry Service and looked at all the trees in detail, every single one of them. And we found one tree out of the original 100 had not survived, which they said was a remarkable survival rate. Generally, we were looking at, by the end of next year, we want to hold it to no higher than 90%. No higher than 90%. No, I'm sorry.
Lower.
No lower than 90%, yes. Sorry. And to be at 99% at this point in time, and all the other trees are thriving. I want to thank Bob Batiste, I want to thank Scott Rivera and all the folks at the Public Works Department for planting and tending those trees. They take a special pride in the tree bank. Well, they take a special pride in all the trees, but the tree bank is their baby because it's right in their yard. They're doing a fantastic job of it. So I want to thank everybody involved in the project. And we will be back here again next year with our third year in a row. I can guarantee it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Dan.
you.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
one
much.
more thing to that. Actually, we got a portion of the rebate or a portion of what we expended from the state on those trees. And then after next year's inspection, we'll get the balance of that as long as everything passes.
Okay, that's correct. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
And congratulations.
Great job. All right, we have a food truck request. Please step to the mic. Yeah, please, pass it out. Thank you.
Frank, you got that statue thing we could talk about? You got that statue? Thank you. Never mind. Thank you.
Thank you for seeing us. My name is Daniel Borelli. This is my business partner, Zachary Sawyer. We own the Minnow Seafood. We currently have it parked at 17 Horton Street, which is Bellevue Drugs parking lot. It's next to Chimney Rustic Ales. I also own Chimney, so we have a lease for the parking lot from the pharmacy that owns that to park the truck there. That's kind of where our shore power is. So we're hoping that since we're parked there anyway, we would like to be able to operate when we're, parked in the town. And we know we need your approval for that. So if you're looking at your sheet here, the first page is title page, second page says a little bit about Zach and myself. Zach is an 18 years.
Gentlemen, how are you? Thanks for having us. So I've run a couple different food trucks, seafood-wise, throughout the years. I work at a wholesale seafood manufacturing company, and we sell to Whole Foods, Chickies and Pete's, different things like that. That will be part of our product that we would like to sell with the Minnow through Hammonton. I've had a food truck called Star of the Sea for the past 10 years. It's done very well throughout the area. One down in Florida called Smash 'em Up Seafood. And this is my third Minnow, so I do have experience. And like Dan said, we would just love the opportunity to operate in this town, if possible.
And a little bit about myself. I've been in the restaurant and beverage industry for 18 years now. I got my first job at 16 and kind of never left. I also own Chimney, as I mentioned previously. And a lot of my time in the restaurant has been in management. So I think together we have a lot of skills to make a pretty successful and unique business, and we'd love to have it in our town here. Moving on to the next page, I have a map of where our location is. There's a kind of sort of next to the building there that Chimney's located in. And then we also have a mock-up of what we'd like to do with that spot. Have an outdoor dining area next to our truck, one parked. That was sort of mimicking the parklets outside of Chimney, make them as similar as possible. Oh, that was me, jeez. Make them as similar as possible to kind of continue that look and, kind of clean up that lot and make it accessible for the people in town rather than just having an empty parking lot. We'd like to do something with it. And then third page is our current menu. We'd like to do specials and stuff in town, trying to keep things interesting. And then the fourth page is some pictures of our food. So we currently operate, we've been driving it around to different breweries because obviously we're not allowed to operate here yet. So it's been going pretty well with the, food prep and everything's working really well. So that's why we're here. We'd like to be able to serve you guys some food.
And do you have a lease for the whole parking lot, the entire parking lot? Or?
They are maintaining about 7 parking spots in the back to park their employees in if necessary, and we have the rest of the lot.
So you have a lease for the rest of the lot?
A lease for the rest of the lot.
Now, one of the things you said was that you go around to different breweries,
We've been hitting different breweries on the weekends, yeah, to just try and generate some income, because
and that's not a problem with the state to go around to the different breweries?
So with the breweries, they are not allowed to operate on the licensed premise. So this parking lot is not the brewery's premise. It has nothing to do with the brewery. It's our own lot. And that goes for all the breweries. We parked at Brotherton and Atco yesterday. We parked right out front of their garage doors. That's a public sidewalk, totally fine with the state. We've been at, we were at Flying Fish in Somerdale on Friday. We just park right in front of their parking lot. So as long as it's not on the licensed premise, it is not a conflict of interest for the state.
And to answer that question further, typically we have to obtain a fire permit for the town. Somerdale, we had to obtain a fire permit. Different towns require different things, and that just has a little research before you go to that town to figure out what they require out of each thing. So,
And what about the fact that there is a common owner, so to speak, and it's that close, it's proximity?
I'm allowed to own other businesses. So.
But that close, will that create a problem for the state? Do you have approval from the state?
So I did not tell the ABC about the food truck because the ABC doesn't govern food trucks. I spoke with our Brewers Association lawyer about it and also my own, and they basically told me I'm not the first one to do this. A lot of people do it. Cape May Brewing opened a taco stand next door. The same owners. So they didn't really see a need. Yeah.
When you say next door, the properties abut each other?
So Cape May Brewing is in the Cape May Airport.
Yes.
It's literally the unit next to them. It's the same building, it's like the rented unit next to them. So yeah, it's not unprecedented. Let's put it that way.
Anybody else have any questions?
Is Chimney considered a limited brewery?
Yes. Yeah, under 50,000 barrels a year is a limited brewery license in New Jersey. We only produced about 1,000, so we're well within that limit.
Well, the state statutes here, it's pretty inclusive.
Yeah.
As to what a brewery can and can't do regarding food.
Right.
And really, the way I read this, the only thing that can actually be done, this is from the state, not from the town,
Sure.
is food could be ordered by patrons and delivered. There could be menus provided from local restaurants, but they're pretty specific here on not collaborating with food entities.
Right. It's a separate business. The brewery is not collaborating. It's just a different business. It just happens to be next door.
Even though it has a common owner?
Yep.
How do you define collaborate?
So they basically just don't want you calling food trucks and driving up on your premise. We had an ABC inspector at our location about 6 months ago. I even brought up the food truck festival in town, and he's like, as long as it's not on your premise, we don't care. So.
Hopefully to answer your question a little further. So with that, I think he's trying to say is when you have a brewery, you can't call a food truck or collaborate with them to come to your place of business and operate. But that's why we worked out the lease for 17 Horton Street. He's 15. We worked out the lease with Bellevue, hoping that that would be a distinction between the two businesses. And us leasing that lot would render it a separate business so we could operate in that parking lot as a completely separate entity from Chimney.
Yeah, but isn't that in fact what you're doing? No different than calling up someone and telling them to come, or whether you're already there?
So from our understanding with the lawyer he spoke with from the Brewers Association, when you have a lease right up for a separate property, that it's not talking between the two businesses. What we understand from it is that when a brewery calls a food truck or vice versa, and they pull up to that place, then they're in cahoots with each other, and that's what the ABC was against. We understand that once we got the lease for that property and had the separate property to operate from, that it was a separate entity from the brewery.
And you're also aware that this board has not approved food trucks in the downtown area we've denied in the past? The only food truck that was approved was one that was there for how many years?
18.
18 or 20 years? Yeah. So we have not approved any new food truck in the downtown area.
Okay, I did not know
Yeah,
That's why we're here. I mean,
And currently, food that comes into the premises, that's coming in how? Coming in from our local restaurants, I assume?
Yeah, for the most part. 99% of it is Marcello's.
Any other questions?
It's hard to understand how the right side of the brain doesn't collaborate with the left side of the brain if you are both the same owners of two specifically different entities, but, the right side of the brain says, park the food truck in front of the brewery, and, we're not collaborating, but I don't know how that works without a certain amount of collaboration.
fair point. It's a fair point. I'll be honest, it's a fair point. I mean, obviously, the food truck's next door to the brewery. It was just where we had a lot, where we had a setup, and from what we understood through the lawyers, like with the lease agreement and the separate address, that wouldn't be operating together, because obviously if I pulled up a food truck to a brewery, I don't own an address there. I'm just driving my food truck up and I'm operating at their actual address. Now, with our permit to operate there, which obviously is contingent on whether or not we can do that through the Town of Hammonton, we have our own address, we have our own operating address. It's a business address that's completely separate from 17 Horton Street. Now, it's completely fair for you to say that, yes, it is next door, and yes, he does own it. So, I mean, that's the truth of the matter. But we do have a separate, like I said, separate address, and through the lawyers, apparently through the ABC as well, that would be okay. But that's a very fair point.
I just wanted to point out on the schematic that you show on page 3, where you have the food area.
Yes.
You note on the paneling on the one that it's Chimney Rustic Ales. Yeah, you might not want to have that
So
there.
I had that rendered up for when I did the parklet out front, and I just copied it around the corner there.
I got it. I want to say, Dan, I appreciate your investment in our town with bringing Chimney here, and I've been to your establishment, and I enjoy the product that you put forward. I will, to be truthfully honest, just to be honest here, I've maintained consistency that I have opposed food trucks in the downtown area. I was an advocate for the change in our ordinance to do that because of my belief that, to support the downtown, I want to support the brick and mortar businesses. And so this isn't anything, personal, and I looks like you have a great product and a great brand. You do with Rustic, and I'm sure the food that you have is excellent, but for the purposes of, for maintaining consistency, I can't support this tonight.
We have to take official action.
Right,
because-
I'm just
I just want to say, okay. So when you're.
I ask Michael for your interpretation of the state statute with respect to collaboration.
Is there anything, Michael, that you could add to this? I mean, we're hearing their lawyers. You're our professional.
I'd have to look into it regarding the ABC, take a look at whether or not it seems that if it's the same owner in a parking lot, not necessarily a set location that's in that building, that, common ownership would be some form of collaboration. I mean, it's not as if it's a fixed unit in a separate section. This is I'd have to look into it more. But again, past practice has been that, since I've been here, since we enacted this ordinance, I can't recall one time where you guys have approved a food truck other than one that was in existence prior to our adoption of the ordinance at a location it's been operating forever.
Well, there's been one.
Let me ask this, could we just bring this back next month for you to do more research on the collaborative, the part that you were talking about?
It's up to you. If you guys need that information, I can look into it for the next meeting to render a decision this evening.
Okay. Gentlemen?
If you feel you've heard enough and there's enough before you to render a decision this evening, you can obviously render a decision. If you want me to look into that for you, we can adjourn this to the next meeting, and I'll look into it further.
I'd like to make a motion that we go to a vote.
In that case, then I will phrase the motion in positive so that a yes vote approves the food truck at this location, and a no vote means you're not approving the food truck at this location. As you're aware, Section 20428 prohibits food trucks in the highway business and downtown and, in the downtown, and gateway districts. This is the application of Minnow Seafood Co. for variance relief pursuant to Section 20430 to have a food truck at the location set forth in their pamphlet, which is right behind Chimney Rustic Ales in that parking lot there. So we'll make the motion in the positive to approve the application of Minnow Seafood Co. for variance relief pursuant to Section 204-30. A yes vote means you're approving the food truck at that location. A no vote means you are not approving the food truck at that location.
So we have a first. Do we have a second?
A second.
Thank you. I'm sorry, who was first? First was DiDonato, second was Gribbin.
Thank you.
All right. Any additional discussion?
My only hesitation would be with the collaborative part of it, but okay, proceed.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
No.
Gribbin?
No.
Oliva?
No.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
No.
Gorman?
No.
Mayor DiDonato?
I'll be voting no also, and the only reason is because we've set precedent by denying multiple food trucks in this zone since we changed it. So it's nothing to do with Chimney Ales, excellent product. It's nothing to do with Minnow, excellent product. It's just unfortunately not in that zone. All right?
The building that was put up and on another wall and a separate wall.
We've already talked about a brick and mortar in the downtown when a building comes available.
Yeah.
This was just kind of
We appreciate it.
Yeah, there you're good to go, man.
Yeah.
It's not saying that in another zone,
Yes.
this wouldn't be permissible in another zone. Right, and this zone is, the end of the zone is very close to this location.
Yeah.
So there are other neighboring areas that may be of more mutual benefit.
The benefit to that is
trucks
power
everywhere.
to the building and runs our freezers and stuff. We can't be running a generator 24 hours a day, that'd be insane. So, all things considered, it's where we have to park it, because that's where we have the power. But, if something else pops up outside the zone and we can get power to it, we'll try again.
Hope something works out.
Yeah, thanks for the consideration.
That's really good, yeah.
Thank you.
We appreciate it, gentlemen.
But I would like to see you
Good
guch do
luck.
brick and mortar in town. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you can
I
get-
love
that.
Sounds like a cool menu.
We're ready for that.
We like those little, small stores on Bellevue, like where Perhaps was, or the barber shop, because we want to do takeout and delivery service, not necessarily sit down.
Whatever.
Yeah, space might be opening up.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you. Gentlemen, do you want these back? Do you want these back?
I'm going to hold on to mine.
I mean, not that I don't want it, I just, it's
You
just,
don't want to take them home?
The menu.
I'm going to hold on to mine if you don't mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You got it, man. Good luck.
Just keep them on for the file.
Thank you so much.
All right, while we're dispensed with the regular order of business, can I get a motion to open up to the public for hearing on 001-2020, amending Chapter 48, Health Benefits?
So moved.
Livo first,
Second, Mayor.
second Oliva. We're now open to the public, if anybody would like to be heard on 001-2022, amending Chapter 48, Health Benefits. Seeing no one, I'd accept a motion to close the public portion, adopt and publish.
I'll make a motion.
Fagioni,
Second.
Rodeo, discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribbin?
yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried. Can I get a motion to open up to the public on ordinance 010-2022, fixing salaries of certain employees. They're listed here. It's basically a lot of positions in Town Hall.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Gribben first.
Second, Mayor.
Second, Oliva. We're now open to the public if anybody would like to be heard. Seeing no one, I'd accept the motion to close the public portion, adopt, and publish.
So moved.
Gribben.
Second.
Oliva. Discussion.
We didn't have that issue last meeting.
Yeah, I know. Roll call, please.
Welcome.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Willerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried. With that, we'll jump over to the committee reports and Deputy Mayor Gribben.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We just took action on 2 items from the Administration Committee, and we will take action on 3 additional items from tonight's agenda under the resolutions. The Administration Committee met on April 7th. There are no action items to report on from that meeting at this time. For some informational pieces, new computers have been installed throughout Town Hall in the last few weeks, and Town Hall is working out a few minor issues. Otherwise, the new computers have provided a much-needed upgrade for our town employees. On Wednesday of this week, you may notice that one of the front windows on the 3rd floor of Town Hall will be removed temporarily, and that will be for the delivery of metal framing and sheetrock, which is going towards the renovation for Access Hammonton studio. This is a phased renovation of this previously unfinished portion of Town Hall. As we all know, Access Hammonton provides residents with vital public safety and emergency notifications for our residents, and as such, we'll be seeking grant dollars to fund up to all associated costs with this project. Finally, you will see under our clerk's report tonight that longtime Highway Department employee Bobby Bradbury will be retiring after 36 years of employment, dedicated service to our town, and I know that I speak on behalf of Mayor and Council when I say thank you to Bobby for a job well done and for your many, many years of dedicated service to our town is greatly appreciated. That will conclude my report for this month, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Gribben. We'll jump over to Business and Industry. Councilman Olivo.
Thank you, sir. Update from the businesses. Exit 28 Boutique, 210 Bellevue Avenue next to Cassiano's, is opening a women's boutique and plans to be open by May 1st. That's April Carnicel. She was originally involved in Sadie's Boutique, so we're excited to have her back in the town. Hand Me Gowns, 251 Bellevue Avenue. This is a new business that will be handling second-hand wedding dresses, and it's in the OCAP building. They had their ribbon cutting on April 21st, and they're planning on opening on May 7th. When we did that ribbon cutting on April 21st, there was also 4K Nutrition, which is on 3rd Street, and perhaps in their new location on Bellevue Avenue. Some updates from also downtown events. We're having a town cleanup that will be on Saturday, May 7th, planting flowers and doing the cleanup. If you'd like to volunteer and help, arrive before 9 a.m. in front of the train station. Also, Teen Arts will be held in downtown on May 11th. The business, Hammonton Business Appreciation Day has been rescheduled for Friday, May 13th, between 8 and 10. That'll be behind Cassiano's. The Easter Extravaganza was held on Friday, April 15th. It was a great turnout. The weather was perfect. We thank the police department and the Parks and Recreation Department. They used the parklet for the Easter Bunny. I think it worked out really well. The chief was out there helping the Easter Bunny. He had his bunny ears on, and I thought it was a really great day. Brought the kids there. They had a good time. Well, I don't know if they had a good time, but they came anyway.
Billy had a good time.
I did have a good time. Cruising Main Street will be Friday, May 20th. The Hammonton Arts and Music Fest will be May 21st. An update that the Food Truck Fest will be on June 11th. And I have just a couple more little things. There's going to be a rally for Ukraine this Saturday at Town Hall between 5 and 6. And from the Chamber of Commerce, installation of officers and the awards banquet will be on May 17th. And the Red, White, and Blueberry Festival will be on June 26th. We have 2 more ribbon cuttings that are going to be, for now, in May. National Credit Systems, which is 245 Bellevue, and NB Advisors will be on 251 Bellevue, which is the OCAP building as well. So businesses are still growing. Again, please support your local businesses, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Olivo.
You're welcome.
We'll jump over to Quality Life and Education, Councilman Olivo.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Good to be back after a month away. First, we'd just like to thank members of council, members of the community who wish my family and I well. We welcomed our daughter, was born at the end of March, 3/22/22. She took it easy on me on the date, so I'll never forget it. But just want to thank everybody for being such a great support system to my wife and Carmen and I along the way. So I want to just say thank you again for council for always continuing to keep me informed. As it took a little bit of time for me and my family. Following up from the Quality of Life Committee on one piece of information, just continue with events as Councilman Olivo had. We have a townwide yard sale also coming up. I wanted to make sure that I touched on that. I was talking with Mary Young. She passed along some information to me. The townwide yard sale will be June 4th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. There is a $10 registration at your location, and all proceeds benefit the Hammonton Drug Alliance and the Hammonton Family Success Center. That's an event that's sponsored by Reed Preschool. There will be a map that will be posted on the Alliance and the Center's Facebook page. It'll be printed, it'll be posted in the Gazette. And they're also holding an event hoagie voucher event as well. So when you register, you can purchase a hoagie voucher for $12. It includes chips, water, Italian or turkey hoagie, and that voucher is available and is usable anytime on June 3rd, 4th, or 5th by pickup at Inferrera's Market. So you can call ahead and use that voucher to pick up, and those proceeds, again, will go towards the Hammonton Drug Alliance and the Hammonton Family Success Center. So I wanted to pass that along for everyone. From the Quality of Life Organization, something that the Environmental Commission discussed and wanted to make sure we brought to council was that starting May 4th, 2022, this has been discussed once before, but just to make sure everyone is aware, the state of New Jersey, retail stores, grocery stores, and food services businesses will no longer be able to provide or sell single-use plastic carry-out bags. Also, you'll see polystyrene foam food service products or containers. That is styrofoam. So just a fancy way to say is styrofoam food service containers. Single-use paper carry-out bags will be allowed and will be able to be provided or sold by certain establishments. Most establishments will not be able to provide those types of bags as well. So just want to throw it out there to everyone. We're coming up to May 4th. Take a couple extra minutes, throw those reusable bags in the car. It's likely that a lot of vendors are going to either provide or sell, I would anticipate sell, reusable carry-out bags. And if you have a couple of your own, you can toss them in the car. Try and make that part of your habit. It's going to become something that you don't get to the checkout line and either have to buy new bags or figure out how to shovel 100 items into the back of your car. So it certainly is going to take a little bit of adjusting to get to. Businesses are working on some creative ways to to make sure that they continue serviceability for everyone. So just take a couple extra seconds as we get to that day. And understand that businesses are working to comply with something they never have before, right? So if you do frequent a business and it feels a little hectic, right around that May 4th time, please just take an extra second to make it a little bit easier on businesses and their employees along the way. This is a requirement of the state of New Jersey. This is not something that's been put out there by the town or by a certain business or their employees. So please just do your best to work around it the best as possible. Something else from the Quality of Life Committee stemming from Planning Board and also from some discussions that I've had with Anthony Bernardo. Mayor, Anthony and I have been spending a little bit of time on our personal time talking about the potential move from a paper permit or paper plan submission process that happens for Planning Board or for construction permits and taking that to more of a digital-based process. Larger communities and larger towns have moved in that direction, and it seems to be that towns of our size and then towns significantly smaller than ours haven't made that jump yet. There certainly are some technical challenges to making that jump, and there's also some things we would have to identify to see what taking that next step and that leap would look like. So what I would like to do, Mayor, with your permission, is I would like to put a team together to investigate what would be the technological lift, the financial lift, the training and resource lift to making that next step. Not saying that we would ultimately take it, but at least identifying what would the next steps be and what would it mean for the town to move forward in that direction.
Also, staff would have to be able to handle that.
Certainly.
Do you want that? Do you want to put that in the form of a motion? This way, it's just not one man's approval; it's approval from council to proceed.
Absolutely. I will put in the form of a motion to create a committee that would be staffed of either town professionals or town employees and members of council to investigate the use of electronic permits and plans for planning board and construction submission and retention.
So we have a first from Oliva. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Gribben. All right. If I think this is where the admin committee should mesh in with that, and we should put an ad hoc committee together. Deputy Mayor Gribben, yourself, and I'm going to volunteer Councilman Olivo. He's on admin also, and look into it and see what our capabilities are in town. All right? Any additional discussion from council? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Can I add something to that? In conjunction with that, Jonathan and I had talked to ARH. Downstairs in the basement, there's a lot of old plans that are stacked up, probably 10 foot long by 4 foot high, that we're looking at the possibility of whether we can, how much it might cost to scan those in and then categorize those. So if we need to research any kind of project that was done before, they become available a lot easier rather than going down in the basement and moving those plans around. So again, as part of that team, maybe we're going to look at that as a potential also. And it's a lot easier record keeping that way also.
Yeah. Certainly we would want to pull that in as well. And that comes, Mayor, with part of what is the technological lift to being able to do something like that. And
we need to buy a plan scanner or whatever.
Right.
Actually,
or
we would
is it
looking
cheaper
at that
to
as an option, or having ARH give us a price, or a firm give us a price on going down there, scanning that, categorizing it, so they could be retrieved easily.
See what our options are. All right. Anything else?
That's all I have, Mayor, from Quality of Life Organization. Thank you very much for council's consideration on that topic. The only thing I have for the Education Foundation, for the Education Committee, kind of quiet there. But for the Taste of the Town, one bite at a time. I know that Councilman Woolerman, you made the mention last meeting, but that runs now through May 31st. So if you haven't gotten the opportunity to grab your card, please feel free. You can go online. You can go on their Facebook page. They have a phone number you can give a quick phone call to. I'll read it out now. It is 856-495-5555. You can shoot them a text or a call and ask them for a card, and they'll be sure to get you one. A lot of great sponsors that are out there, and as Councilman Oliva said, help support your Hammonton businesses. So that's all I have from news on behalf of the Education Committee, and thank you, Mayor and Council, for your time.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. All right, we'll jump over to Public Works and Transportation. Councilman Rodeo. All right, go for it.
We have two action items tonight that I will leave up to RH to discuss. One has to do with our bike path, and the other has to do with our 11th Street sidewalk. When Mark's up, I'll reserve a little bit there. If I'd like to add, I'll let him speak about it, and I'll do the same with our Public Works with Mr. Vitisse. He has 7 different items that he'll be talking about, and I'll reserve some time there also to add in. There's a couple things that I think are very well going along with his different items that he has, and it's really the only thing. There is one other one, but Mr. Fragioni, Councilman Fragioni, will be speaking about the other action item. And other than that, that's really all I have to report, Mayor.
Thank you very much.
Real quick, Bub.
Thank you very much. Chief, you want to give a quick couple minutes on law and order?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had a wonderful success with our Easter egg extravaganza. We had 16 entities that were out there between civic organizations, businesses in our community, our fire department and our police department, getting together to help out youth of our community and celebrate and have a good day. And as Councilman Olivo said, I believe that the kids did look like they had a really good time. The Easter Bunny had a really good time out there for the 3 hours. He was a trooper hanging out for that amount of time. And it was great to have the participation of all those groups. And again, a thank you to Walmart for donating to our police department candies that we gave out to children as well. That was the treat. The non-treat is, again, that we are conducting a campaign through the National Highway Traffic Safety Association. It is a text, drive, and pay. So we have secured $7,000 in grant funds for our community for extended enforcement. Officers have been out there and will continue to be out there. The grant runs through April 30th. As most people out on the road have noticed, there are less and less people driving courteously, abiding the signs, signals, and rules of the road. So again, I would like to stress to our community members, please heed the rules because you won't like what's going to happen afterwards. And I don't want to make people unhappy by receiving motor vehicle summonses, but the more that we have people disregarding the rules which keep our community safe, the more we're going to have to make sure that they're being enforced. So if there are residents in our community, as we've had some reach out already, that are concerned about operation of vehicles on their roadways, give us a call, send me an email. I would be happy to make sure that there is directed enforcement in those areas. I really want to keep our community safe. New Jersey ranks, I think, number 2 in fatalities in our state, and I want to see that definitely decrease. So we want to make sure that our community is safe, that our streets are safe. While that, again, as I said, there are more people that are out there now as the weather is nice, walking, biking. You will also receive summonses if you are not doing the move over for pedestrians or pedicyclists that are on the roadway as well. It is now not just for emergency vehicles. It is also for bicyclists and for pedestrians that when there is not a sidewalk and they're walking down the shoulder of the roadway, you need to give at least a 4-foot berth around them. You can only pass by them when it is safe to do so, not whiz by them at 35, 40 miles an hour within inches. So I want to make sure that people are aware of that and are heeding that as well. We have some events that are coming up on the 30th of April. We have a 5K and 1 mile hero walk, the Shawnee Shoe Hands. It's for autism. It is spearheaded by Sergeant Sean Grasso. That you can go online. It is on our Facebook page as well to sign up. If you don't want to come out and do the walk or run, you can still sign up to donate. The proceeds go to a grant for Camp Sun and Fun for children with autism and young adults with autism. Also on April 30th, we will be holding, in conjunction with the DEA, a national medication take-back. So anyone who has unwanted, unused medications in your household, bring them out. Between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. here at the Hammonton Police Department, we will be collecting them so that they can be safely disposed of. Keeps them out of our water system, keeps them out of our trash cans, and keeps them out of hands of people who do not need to have them. Medication abuse is one of the #1 problems in the nation, and this is one of the ways that we are combating that. And also, giving a plug for the fire department, the 30th, there's also a beef and beer that is going on as a fundraiser for Assistant Chief Dominic DiGiovanangelo. So that is also going to be on the 30th. I believe off the top of my head, it's from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Fire Company number 2. Tickets are available for that. And those who are going out to enjoy at that event, please be careful, cautious with the traffic on Route 30, pulling out and pulling in for that. Want to make sure that we have safe roadways while all that's going on. And final footnote, as we put out on with 511 on our PD page, there is road construction that is going to be going on Route 30 for the next upcoming weeks. Lanes are channelized down to 1 lane in some directions. This is all part of the state of New Jersey's rehabilitation of Route 30. So please add a little bit of time to your travel if that's the direction that you have to go so that you can arrive there safely. Other than that, Mr. Mayor, I think that's all I have. Does Mayor or Council have anything?
Chief, thank you very much, Chief. I'm not going to be as eloquent as you are because I've been begging people for the last couple of years to slow down. I'm just going to say, folks, we're going to help you out now. You have a problem with your wallet, there's too much money in it. We're going to help you out with that. We're going to write tickets. We're going to make you pay more for your insurance. We're going to do all the things you want to do. We're going to help you out. We're going to aggressively help you out. And that's good news because it's only going to cost you money. And the better news is we just saved your life. So when you call me and say, I got a ticket, and I was the one who called in the neighborhood and said there's people speeding, and then we go out there and run radar, and we give tickets to you and your family, and you say, well, everybody's speeding. Well, we can only catch what we catch. So we're going to help you out and lighten your wallet for you. So I'm sorry, but it's saving your life and saving the lives of your family members, so you should be thankful for it. I don't know how else to say it. I've been begging people for a couple years now to slow down. No, everybody is in a hurry to end up in a box. So we're going to help you out and save you from that peril, but it's going to cost you money to do that.
I've seen some signs out there that say drive like it's your neighborhood.
Yeah.
I've personally stopped people for speeding and said, well, in my neighborhood, they speed even more, and they're speeding through someone else's neighborhood. So, as you said, Mr. Mayor, sometimes people need help in a very odd way.
Let's slow down, gang. Please, let's slow down. The life you're saving could be you and your families. Please. All right. Thanks, Chief. Councilman Rodeo, you had something you wanted to add?
I'm sorry, yes. I'd like to circle back here a minute. In speaking today, also with Councilman Forgione, our guys have been out there, the Highway Department, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, today. We're trying to make a little bit of a dent in the stream from, I'll say, 4th Street, clear through past Liberty, along Virginia Avenue, Tom, and out to the Pike. I have some pictures here that we will go along. Scott has sent me tonight. They're doing a heck of a job. They're in there. All they're doing is pulling the dead trees. They're not touching any part of the stream itself. But we're opening it up, and we've been asking for some help. And I'll just word it this way. We're going to send a letter. I'm asking Frank, and actually I want the letter, if we could, tomorrow in the mail. I want to get it done and get it out there to DOT and to the county. Mr. Del Rosso had a phone call to him on Friday. I was hoping that the Mosquito Control Commission, Bobby, what's his last name?
Abdul.
Would have reached out to us. I waited till 5 o'clock today. There's no email, no nothing. So a letter's going to go to them also and address it to Del Rosso and whoever else, the county exec, wherever you want to send it. But please, we need some help. We've asked them over and over, and I'm tired of it. I think I asked him 10 years ago, and there's somebody sitting in the audience 15 years ago that we asked him. Am I correct, Jerry? Yeah, but I'm not that old. No, I know that. I just wanted to throw that out there. And our guys are out there. They've been out there for 4 days, and they've done a heck of a job, I think. Mayor, you saw the pictures. Mm-hmm. Guys, you all saw the pictures today. And we've gotten nothing from them, zero. Mr. Fagioni, I don't know if there's anything you'd like to add.
Mayor, we've spent money on a drone trying to organize where we're going to go target the areas that need to be cleaned up. We're spending money on manpower. I know that Mr. Rodeo has been in contact with the county. Look, I'm sure we have a tremendous representative in Mr. Bertino. I'm sure he would help us. We should also put him in the letter, make sure he's included with the county exec and Mr. Darasso. But Mr. Bertino would do anything for the town, and I'm sure he'll help us. And we should also copy King, whatever he is, Teresi over there too, to get some cooperation from the state as well. Assemblyman, thank you. Assemblyman Teresi. So everybody should be on the ladder. We could use some help from the state and from the county.
Right here, I like that. All right. No, seriously, it's something, I mean, it's just not right. It's just, you know, and I don't know if we're going to get anywhere, and like, I'm tired of using my breath, but when I saw these guys out there working and what they've done,
The good news is we're cleaning, and getting the water to move the best we could.
Because
but we
that
need some-
problem, it's been well documented. We've discussed it, the backup going all the way up to 06. Yeah.
We've met with Mosquito Control Commission in the county multiple times over the course of the last 2 years, Bobby?
Yes.
2 years?
I'll be honest, there was a phone call, and I don't care, that between the the Mosquito Control Commission gentleman and our supervisor, we weren't able to get him 5 men, only 2 or 3, and if he didn't have 5 men, he wasn't coming. They were the words. Now, I'm not sure, I wasn't on that phone call, but I don't think our supervisor would lie to us. I would hope not anyway, and I would hope that that's not true.
Well, I think if we call Mr. Levinson, County Exec Levinson, and Jerry Del Rosso, they'll work through this issue and resolve that problem pretty quickly. They'll get a crew here.
We got 10
I
men,
have confidence.
they got 50 men.
I have confidence in them. I have confidence in them.
I mean, we got 10 guys, they got 50 guys. I mean, come on. What's the amount of, what's the difference? How many men are out there? Let's get just some men out there.
Well, they're responsible for the creek. That's the big part.
Exactly.
They're the ones responsible.
Exactly.
Well, honestly, the responsibility falls on, and Mr. Vitisse will tell you this, the responsibility falls on 3 entities, right? Falls on the town of Hammonton, the county, and the state. We should all be out there working hand in hand, in all honesty.
And actually, a little bit, I'm going to add a fourth, is actually the property owners, because as we walk the stream, there's a lot of people that are dumping grass or branches and stuff like that. Now, we do have, cleanup, that they can put the branches out on a dedicated day. So there's no reason that that they should be discharging any kind of waste, near the stream corridors. So if everybody cooperates and does their part, it would go a lot of way towards making that condition a lot better.
I think what I see today, and if we could, I don't know, we'll see what foliage, how quick it comes, we could end up, I wouldn't even mind sending that drone out there again and showing what we've done. And then if it is beyond the White Horse Pike and going north, the state's got to do something. They got to do something to help the town. Or everything we've done has meant nothing then. Because if they're not going to help us north of the Pike, that's the state, that's not the town of Hammonton.
Yeah. Actually, the state has a project, they haven't started yet, but they're going to, on Route 206, where the one crossing is, that crossing has a lot of silt in it, so they're going to go out, they're going to go through that and clean that section underneath the roadway. Okay. Maybe if they can go a little further in either direction, it would probably help out, because there's a lot of bends, through that stream. In fact, we had ARH probably maybe 12 years ago or so had done logged all the overpasses or pipes that were in that particular location, and I'm not even going to call them pipes. There were some that had old wine barrels and had the oil tanks that were never used or something. They used those as some of their crossings, but they need to be looked at.
I'm going to show you how old I am. I know where there's 2 55-gallon drums, and there's a road that goes across by 206 Market. I was a young kid. It's still that way. It's still that way. I can tell you how old I am, though, Mike.
With that, we'll jump over the Water and Sewer, Councilman Fragioni.
I'm sorry for taking that time, too. I had thought we had to say something, and, came up.
Thank you, Mayor. I have one action item tonight in tonight's engineer's report that I'll get to. Couple updates. I didn't bring this up at Public Works. I was waiting for a confirmation. We received notice from a resident on Cypress Court. Cypress Court is fed by private water wells, drinking wells, I should say, that they have elevated levels of PFAS in their well test. Just a quick history here. The Lakeview Gardens section of town was done years ago, many, many years ago. Lakeview Drive has got public water. Holly Lane has public water. Poplar Street has public water, but Cypress Court does not. It services 8, 10, 12 homes, something like that. I think what we should do is have Mr. Batiste reach out to the homeowners. We should have them get their wells tested to see where all the other homeowners stand. We could arrange help with the DEP because they're private wells, whether they would be eligible for a POET system or whether the state would pick up the tab and have us run a water line. But we're going to need to do something just to give, even though it's not they're private wells, they're not town, it's not a town water line, we should go in there and give them some assistance.
I believe if you want to add to that, Mill Run and Mossview Lane, it's also there, it's stone's throw from Cypress.
You're right.
I think part of Poplar Street, too, that connects them.
I know there was wells.
Poplar has it.
The whole way? No. I don't
Poplar
think,
does not have it all the way?
Because Poplar hits Cypress, and then it keeps going past Cypress to Moss Mill, or Mill Run. I don't think it's there.
All right, so then why don't we get a list together in that area, Lakeview Gardens, that are on private wells.
I don't even think it runs that way. I think it came down Holly, went up Cypress to Poplar, and then went back to Lakeview Drive, but didn't go the other way.
Go down, okay.
It didn't go where you used to live.
No, and I know there's dirty wells on Mossview Lane.
All right, so why don't we?
There's some issues there. I don't know what the exact contaminants are, but I know there's some issues there.
Yeah, the other thing we could do is we could check with the county health department, because I think they would probably provide a service or at least reduce costs on maybe some well testing. So we'll make that inquiry also.
Okay, I appreciate that. That's one. Couple quick updates for everyone. Mr. Batiste has been working with ARH and Mr. DeChico on a list of possible roads we could test for slip lining for sewer lines. Once we finish that list up, we'll let everyone know what roads we're kind of thinking about starting. Water meters, I've made, many pleas here publicly. I'll do it again. If you receive a notice to have your water meter changed, please let us do so. We're hanging door knockers, giving you ways that you can make an appointment. We'll come in the evening, we'll come on the weekends. My goal is to get the new water meters in so that we could better service you in terms of billing. When we finish the town, we'll be able to give you up-to-date statistics on your water. So if you're using excessive water, let's say for a couple days, we'll be able to tell you. You won't have to wait a quarter. We'll tell you this way. If you have a leak, you can fix it and not be charged. All I ask is that you let us in. It's a 10, 15-minute job. Like I said, if we go to your home, we'll put a door knocker. The directions are on the door knocker how to get a hold of us. We'll come in, we'll service your water meter and be out the door. And lastly, just be on the lookout. Our guys are starting to flush fire hydrants. Take a couple of months. You'll see them all over town flushing, and it's just something we do yearly. So that's all I have at this time, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman Fragioni. We'll jump over to Mark Herman in the engineer's report.
Thank you, Mayor. First item on our report, it pertains to the bike path connector. As you know, the town got $745,000 to continue the bike path from behind Suncoast to the park. In order to continue with the design, we need a little bit more land survey data from Cathedral to the park. So we submitted a proposal for $3,900 to do the survey work down Egg Harbor Road to Park Avenue in the park. So for your consideration, we would request to be authorized to perform that work for you.
Okay, can I get a motion as read from council, please?
I'd like to make that motion, Mayor, and it's great to have that money available now and take this to where it's got to go finally and not nowhere land, so.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have Rodeo, Gribben, Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried.
Make one other comment on that, is that I went to a DOT meeting probably a couple weeks ago, and I don't know if I already mentioned this to council, but state of New Jersey had $10 million to distribute for bikeways in the state of New Jersey. 15 municipalities got money. The town of Hampton got $795,000 of that $10 million portion. So thank you for ARH for making that application, and council
Did
being,
well then, yeah.
having the forethought to continue that particular project. So it's working
Great
out
job,
well
and
for
I
the
know a
town.
lot of people, yes, ARH did a wonderful job, and as they always do. But I know a lot of people are saying it was the bike path to nowhere. We first installed it. But unfortunately, you go as far as the grant dollars not to use your own town dollars and your tax dollars, your hard-earned dollars, folks. So that's why at this time, it's the bike path to nowhere. But with this 745, hopefully now we'll connect in the Lake Park. And then from there, we're going to go further. So it may be a series of steps that look like they're not finished, but it's getting the most out of your government dollars and state dollars. So that's why we do what we do. Sometimes it looks and sounds silly, but there is a plan up here, gang, and there is a plan. I promise you that.
It really is a great example of what we always stress about utilizing grant dollars when they're given to you in the hopes that they see you put that money to good use, and the next time around, when you ask for more or eligibility on a new project, if they see success with a previous grant, the likelihood of being awarded a second grant becomes higher. And so this is one great example of that. So thank you to everybody involved.
Go ahead, Mr. Herman, I'm sorry. We stepped on your toes.
Second item is also pertains to the bike path in some respects. It's the 11th Street Sidewalk Pedestrian Improvement. The town got $265,000 from the state to invest in sidewalk upgrades along 11th Street. This will take you from the bike path, the new bike path ramp to Egg Harbor Road, and also include the train station interconnection. So in order to, and it'll also have some flashing beacons to let you know there's the bike path crossing there. So in order to do that design, we've submitted a proposal in the amount of $5,390 to do the survey work along 11th Street from the bike path down the Egg Harbor Road for your consideration.
Get a motion from council is read, please.
Motion, Mayor.
Rodeo first.
Second, Mayor.
Oliva second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you. The third item on our report is related to the water main project along Route 54. We've designed the project to install a new water main down the Route 54 in the cartway, in the roadway. Mr. Batiste has been working on obtaining easements along Route 54 to allow us to put the water main outside of the road into like a grassed area. By doing this, we would see a significant capital savings, construction costs, just with restoring the road, and it would be a really good thing to save that money. And to do that, it would require obtaining easements from every property owner, and so we were asked to give a proposal. We submitted a proposal to do the actual land surveying along the road and write legal descriptions for each property, which is about 1.2 miles from Second Road up to First and along Chew Road. So the cost to do that work is $43,100. So we submitted a proposal for that amount, and we would, for your consideration, to move forward with that project.
So moved.
Woolerman first.
Second.
Second for Joni. Discussion.
Mayor, as Mr. Herman said, we realized during the course of design here that we could save significant time in the construction project if we put the water line in an easement, as well as significant dollars. We think we're far enough along now where we can provide all this, the surveying, get the easements from the homeowners, and put the line in the easement as opposed to putting it down the middle of the road. So that's a couple $100,000 savings in construction, along with a substantial time frame reduction. And I could tell you, if you live on Route 54, you do not want us to be installing above ground temporary water lines to your home if we could avoid it. This would avoid all that. So I think this will be money well spent, and we will realize the significant savings by doing it.
Traffic control,
And traffic control.
I just want to thank Bobby. I be honest with you, at the beginning of this, I didn't think you were going to get as far as you've gotten. And you've done a great job in getting responses from the residents and business owners, actually, are all in pretty much favor. I know when we had the meetings, we weren't sure
Yeah, they've been
where it was
very
going. There
cooperative.
wasn't many that showed up, but thank you, Bob. It really does come a long way, making this project work.
And sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, we jumped in
No,
there.
I
too.
didn't realize you had to vote still. I'm
You
sorry.
made a motion.
Jumped the gun.
Any additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Willerman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Thank you. That's all I have for my report as far as action items go.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Mr. Herman. We'll jump over to Mr. Malinsky, the one and only Mr. Malinsky.
Where's my father?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um,
You're the one and only here tonight.
That's right. On April 10, 2022, I provided counsel for the Board of Education the draft lease that was provided to everyone in closed. This was a red line version, the most recent red line version that had gone back and forth. As of 8:11 p.m. this evening, we received no comments. It's my understanding that the Board of Education wants the town to adopt the lease first. So with that being said, I need a motion authorizing mayor to execute the Hammonton Hawks, Inc. and Hammonton Board of Education lease agreement commencing on May 1st, 2022 for use of William T. Capella Field concession stand and the use of William T. Capella Field by the Hawks. It also includes tenant improvements that were previously made, some additional tenant improvements that will be made, along with obviously, it's subject to the Hammonton Board of Education approval and adoption and review of any changes provided by the Hammonton Board of Education by mayor and the solicitor, and approval by the mayor of those changes.
So moved.
Willerman first.
Second.
Gribben second. Discussion.
I just like to say, Mayor, I think it's a great thing. I said the Hawks don't have to play in the outfield of a baseball field anymore. They could actually play on a football field. They've been a great addition to the town, to the schools, to the kids playing athletics and football. So I think it's a great thing that I hope that the school board continues the process and we move this forward. That's a great field there, and it needs to be continued to be played on. It was played on for a long time.
It would be nice if it included a sign.
If they want, it would be great to put a sign up there, home of the Hawks somewhere. Don't need nothing huge. I mean, it is William T. Capella.
Yep.
The sign's there, and you can't miss it. But give them their home and let them go. And I'm sure, knowing those guys involved over there, they will take care of that place. I'm positive of it. So I think it's a good thing to move forward with.
Any additional discussion? It involves money, so roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Willerman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
My second action item is a motion approving the mayor to execute the Cross River Fiber LLC right-of-way use agreement for the installation of fiber optic network and associated equipment in the municipal right-of-ways, and authorization, subject to, of course, the review of any changes by the mayor and the solicitor, and approval of those changes by the mayor.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Liva first.
Second.
Second, Gribben. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Willerman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
That's all I have for this evening.
We'll jump over to Mr. Batiste and the Public Works Manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple different items. First, for information, the middle school tennis courts, we did meet with a couple different contractors, actually 3 of them, to take a look at what kind of options they might have for restoration, replacement, or resurfacing the tennis court areas. And we also had a meeting with ARH out there. I think the last PWTC meeting, we talked about getting a price from ARH to complete those specifications for the fence and for the tennis court area. So we'll be getting that underway, and I think they'll have a proposal for next meeting on that. Related to Veterans Park, there's some sidewalk area that around the monument and a little bit of ways from the center monument that has some tripping hazards, or it's cracked, needs to be replaced. So we had sent out price quote request for 5 different contractors. We got 2 returned, one from Lexa Concrete, one from Adamucci Construction. We're recommending that an award be made to Adamucci Construction in the amount of $9,755, subject to certification of funding availability and review of the insurance documents and the bid documents by the solicitor.
Can we get a motion from council, please?
I would move that, Your Honor.
Woolerman first,
Second, Mayor.
second Oliva. Frank, do we have a funding source for this?
Public Building Grounds.
Okay.
OE.
And that funding source was one. The second part of it was Memorial Day. Veterans Parks are used for the Memorial Day, so we got to watch. I think it's the 30th or 31st this year.
30th.
And actually, in the price request, we said we'd like to have it completed by Memorial Day, but if not, we gave them like a series of other events that tentatively occur there, and we said they cannot interfere with any of those events. It's got to be,
Don't want forms up in that day, or pouring or tripping hazards for, All right. Any additional discussion from council?
It's either before Memorial Day or afterwards, but not during. That would have to be part of the.
We gave them the dates that, there was like 3 or 4 dates we gave them, and we said they cannot, there can't be anything they have on site, that would cause any concern from a safety standpoint.
My understanding is the majority of these repairs are being made closer towards the Hammonton Historical Society. Is that right?
No.
No? They're all through?
It's
Well, the center
actually,
monument.
for the Historical Society, we're getting price quotes for a couple other things. One is repointing of the front steps that go up. There's a lot of gaps where the steps are, and the field stone that's up top. And we're also the handicap ramp in the back, the railings there, and the railings in the front. So we're getting price quotes on that.
That's a separate cost.
Yeah. Are you asking about where the concrete is going to be done, or where the?
Well, I knew there were going to be improvements near the Historical Society. I didn't know if that was separate.
Okay, yes.
Separate to this.
And the other thing that we did is we touched base with these particular improvements with Scott Taylor, just to make sure it's in agreement. He says, no, it should be no problem, associated with that location.
If they start before, it should be completely done, landscape, the whole thing,
They have to, seed.
people that walk through there.
Yeah.
Don't need anybody tripping and falling.
Well, why don't we just ask them to please get it done?
That's all in the bid itself. They're not just replacing the concrete curb or the concrete sidewalk. They also are required to do whatever restoration is needed. Whatever they disturb, they got to, bring back to the.
Yes.
We might have some topsoil exposed for a while, until the seed grows, but.
That's understandable.
That's, as long as it's landscape, that's the only thing I'm saying.
All right, additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato?
Yes, motion carried.
We already talked about Route 54, 12th Street water main extension. Oh, incidentally, with that, we did contact the DOT. I'm trying to find out what their schedule is for the paving of Route 54. And once we get that, we'll have to see, if we can coordinate the plans, the specs, the bids, the construction, so we're not disturbing what they're going to be doing. And that's another reason for going outside the right-of-way is if we put it inside the paved surface, no matter how much they really compact, you're still going to get that a little bit of settlement. As like you said, you ride 54 every day, and you know where the trenches are, where there was cross trenches.
Going north versus going south. Yep.
The next thing we had was safe routes to schools. We did meet with the contractor that was hired and paid for by the state, GPI, and they came up with a conceptual plan for the layout of the curb and sidewalk along that stretch. And this goes one side of North Street, one side of 4th Street, one side of Walnut, one side of Old Forks Road, and it basically connects the high school with the senior citizens and all the way back to the elementary school. In that same meeting, just for information, that I went with the DOT, next year, that Safe Routes to Schools program used to be from K to 8th grade. They're going to allow applications down to be considered for safe routes to schools to high schools. So we'll have to take a look and see what those standards are and what those requirements are. And at one time, we had made an inquiry maybe about 3 or 4 years ago whether we can construct a sidewalk along roadway to excellence, from 4th Street to Old Forks Road, because the different events that are held at that particular complex throughout the year, and not just sporting events, but the different blueberry festivals and other things that occur, would allow that to also be used. But we'll have to find out what the conditions are for that particular grant.
Old Forks Road that still needs a section of sidewalk, correct?
Old Forks Road will have all sidewalk on the one side.
From the Road to Excellence coming toward
Pulte.
Yeah.
That's all be done?
That's what we're proposing.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no sidewalk.
Yep. The other thing that we talked to the state about when we had that meet, or I talked to GPI, I said, when we originally made this application, it was like 2017, 2018. I said, prices are a little bit different now, and whatever we got funded for to do that entire project is, it's going to be a little more expensive than what it was before. Although we do have a number of residents that have put their own sidewalk in along that section of 4th Street and some other sections of Walnut. But they said, here's what he said, not to worry. The state is aware of that because of the COVID and things like that. It pushed a lot of things back and affected a lot of projects that they felt that they would take a look at that, see what the estimates are, and yep. The other two items that we had about the Historical Society, the railing and the front steps and the ramp in the back, we talked about. The sanitary sewer slip lining, Councilman Fagioni had mentioned that, and they'll prioritize what's eligible, prioritize the roadways. And there we have a $395,000 grant that, and secondly, we want to try and use this money so we can go back next year, and say, we have a lot more pipes that we can slip line that would reduce the amount of infiltration that's getting into the line, that reduces the amount of flow that goes to the treatment plant that we have to treat, and the amount of flow that get discharged to the Boyer Avenue site. So it all is a plus if we can start and reduce the amount of infiltration, including, we were talking about Route 54, maybe changing some of those manholes to, they reduce the inflow at the manholes, and maybe coating the inside of some of those manholes, because a lot of them are the old brick. So thanks for Councilman Fagioni and Anthony DeChico for getting that stuff together. For informational purpose, the public works schedule, the first week of the month, which would be the May 5th May 2nd through the 6th is bulky waste. The second week, the 9th through the 13th, will be curbside brush pickup. And Memorial Day, the 30th, is a holiday, so just check the website on when trash pickup will be. Right now, I think Scott usually tries and, get some people together to see if they can, work that day, but until we find that out, just check the website. And the county recycling, again, there'll be 3 times next month. It'll be the 2nd through the 6th, the 16th through the 20th, and the 30th through the 3rd of the following month, June. That's all we have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Batiste. And Deputy Mayor Gribben just whispered in my ear to let everybody know, remind everybody that unlimited bulky is in June.
Okay.
Unlimited bulky is in June this year.
Thank you.
So if you have anything to go out, you have to wait till the first, second week in June.
That's after the town yard sale.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what they do this year. Hopefully there's
Right.
Cohen.
Because it's typically in May.
Yep. We'll jump over to the clerk/administrators, or administrator/clerk's report. Mr. Zuber, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under the town clerk report, we have 3 items. Number 1, approve A.J. Bernato's amending contract to include fire protection, subcode official, construction official, and department head. Number 2, accept retirement of Bobby Bradbury from his position as equipment operator in the highway department. This will be effective as of August 1st, 2022. Accept resignation of Lisa Vitullo from her part-time position in police dispatch effective April 22nd, 2022. Approval is read.
Motion from council, please.
So moved.
Second.
Gribben, Woolerman, discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Approval of bill list and purchase orders.
Motion is read.
So moved.
Gribben first.
Second.
Livo second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato. Yeah, you're right.
Yes, motion carried.
Ordinance number 11 of 2022 is the utility bond ordinance for drip irrigation. This is a reappropriation of a previous ordinance. There's no cost or no bonding to this. It's $39,048.42 that we're changing what am I trying to say?
Change the,
Yep, changing the use to Boyer Ave drip irrigation.
So
From
moved.
council for his read, please.
So moved.
Second.
Woolerman for Joni. Discussion.
Hey, real quick, all we're doing here is, this was the balance of the money left over from painting of the tower on Lincoln Street. We held the money in the ordinance for maintenance purposes. We're going to reappropriate to Boyer Avenue. We got a low quote of around $29,000 to install the fence in front of the dirt pile. This will fund that. And then we're going to get a second quote to do the back half, which is closer to Boyer Avenue later. And we'll use the rest of these proceeds and some other money to fund that.
We have first and a second, right?
Yep.
Roll call.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
And Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
Ordinance 12 of 2022, we're going to table. Resolutions, we have Resolution 53, actually, yeah, we want to take this up,
Let the record show that I'm recusing on 53.
we're taking this up separately. Resolution 53 of 2022, we're authorizing renewal of a conflict liquor license.
Motion from council.
So moved.
Second.
Woolerman first, Oliva second. Discussion?
Easy for you to say.
Roll call, please.
Councilperson Virgioni?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Woolerman?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Gribben?
Yes. Motion carried.
Resolution 54 of 2022, authorize National Night Out. Resolution 55 of 2022, naming certified recycling professional. Resolution 56 of 2022, authorizing tax, water, sewer refunds. Resolution 57, various refunds. Resolution 58, approve expansion of liquor license. Resolution 59, setting salaries of certain employees. Resolution 60, approval to submit application for capital needs grant. This is through Triad Associates. Resolution 61, adopt hazard mitigation plan. This is through the police chief. We do this every 3 or 4 years. 3 years, chief? Every 3 years. Resolution 62, cancel outstanding checks from municipal court. And Resolution 63, proclaiming Arbor Day. And, approval is read.
Motion, please, from council.
So moved.
Livo.
Motion, Mayor. I'm sorry.
Burdio. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Fagioni?
Yes.
Gribben?
Yes.
Oliva?
Yes.
Olivo?
Yes.
Rodeo?
Yes.
Willerman?
Yes.
Mayor DiDonato.
Yes, motion carried.
I just wanted to mention, too, at the airport, they completed the project out there for the fence. They ripped the old one down and tore out a bunch of bushes, and then Sam was out there, was it Friday, and it's looking real good. We have some trees that we may take down, but
We'll see in the fall. We speaking with Councilman Willerman and the mayor and Mr. Fagioni. I think we'll wait till the fall till actually the farmer's done harvesting and all, and then we may come through and take out the last 10 or 15 trees. It wasn't in the scope of the project. Take a ride. I'll tell you what. It really the company that did it done an excellent job. The new fence is all up. The old fence is all gone. It was all grown up through. The only thing I saw that he had left to do Monday was the concrete post to the bottom of the post had to be taken out. I guess he was down there today, I don't know, or tomorrow to finish it up, but it really makes a big difference down there. Really does, I think. Thanks, Frank.
Yep, no problem. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, with that, second opportunity for the public to be heard. Come on up to the mic.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Jerry Barbario, 39 Grand Street, Mamaroneck, New York. I just wanted to come by and say hello. I had some business in Gloucester County, and it's great to see everyone. It's great to see a very experienced elder statesman here, the two on the end. It's very good to see Jonathan get involved as much as he is. That's awesome, and congratulations. But a couple of things have changed, it seems like, since I left 3 years ago. Since I left, plastic bags are now illegal and marijuana is legal, right? So that's a little concerning. Sam always says, and has never changed, I just have a quick minute, and then he goes on forever and ever and ever, right?
Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Right? But it is very good to see everyone. And, I'm really coming by because I've never seen a 7-0 board here in this town hall, and it's pretty amazing, actually. So I'm very happy to see that. But I just wanted to get up before Dan, because he's going to talk for a long time, and say hello. Frank
Great
and
to
Bobby.
see you, man.
Thank you,
Very
Jerry.
good to see you,
Thanks
Jerry.
for stopping in.
Thank you.
Hang for a couple minutes. We'll talk.
Yes.
Well, it's only 3.5 hours till midnight.
But the 5-minute rule is in effect.
Tell you, the guy bombs in, and and he starts dissing people. Anyway, Dan Bachalisa, Environmental Commission. First of all, I want to thank you for your positive vote declaring Arbor Day on Friday. The Environmental Commission is going to be getting a whole bunch of plants from the New Jersey Forest Service and distributing them to third graders in town, so can help increase the canopy and beautify Hammonton as we go along. Second of all, Councilman Olivo, I want to thank you for mentioning the Rally for Ukraine this Saturday at 5 o'clock right here in front of Town Hall. I think most of you, if not all of you, know Dave Murphy. Dave Murphy and I have been organizing this, and we have, frankly, the mayor and deputy mayor both graciously agreed to say a few words to the crowd, and the mayor and Chief Friel have been very helpful in helping us organize things, along with Nick DiStefano, getting equipment together for the event. We have members of the Ukrainian American community in New Jersey and South Jersey coming to speak to their experience of themselves and their families during this very, very, very terrible, trying time in their country. Actually, I was speaking with Dan from Chimney Rustic just before the meeting while you were here in private session, and he noted that they get a lot of the Ukrainian American community coming to Chimney Rustic to visit Hammonton and drink the beer and have a good time and stuff. So they know Hammonton very well, and we know what's going on in their country, so I hope you all come out and support what we can do to help alleviate their suffering and hopefully bring an end to the war, this atrocity very, very soon. I want to thank you again for that, and I'm going to stop before it hits midnight. Jerry, thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. All right.
I just want to say something real quick. These last couple weeks, we've seen some pretty big loss in this town. I know that council, at the beginning of this meeting, we recognized Corporal Jones, who lost his life a few weeks ago. And it seems like just yesterday we were handing him his plaque on his retirement and shaking his hand. And I know that that came as a big shock to all of us and a great loss for our community. And then a few weeks later, we had another loss in our town of a longtime business owner and a very long-time town volunteer in Dawn Baldwin. And she was very close, my family was very close to her, having 3 girls that danced for Miss Dawn and a wife that danced for Miss Dawn too. I was very close with Miss Dawn, especially with her being a volunteer with Main Street and taking the helm of the tree lighting ceremony. We have there are a lot of great things about our town, and we have a lot of great events, and a lot of things that make us special. And that tree lighting event was something that at the beginning of the holiday, people look forward to. And it was a big undertaking. And Miss Dawn did that year after year after year. And she had a lot of help, but she did a yeoman's task of doing that work. It's going to be hard to fill those shoes, but I want, on behalf of my family, and I know on behalf of Mayor and Council, to just express our sympathies, not only to the Jones family, but to the Baldwin family. They were, they're going to be very, very missed in this town. They gave a lot to Hammonton, and our town is definitely much better off because of them. And so I just want to express those sentiments. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like also, I know as many students and kids through the high school that Mr. Jones, Richie, I'm going to call him Richie, touched, and the kids there that really followed him and he helped out with on his part there, and was really special. And I want to say one other thing, and I didn't know, she's my future daughter-in-law, but the play every year, what Dawn and Dwight both did to help Marissa and putting that play together every year, it was really special. I didn't realize it till I was told how much she was really involved in that, and even right to the end, she made sure she made that play this year. And it was, yes, she will be missed very much. So that's all I wanted to say. It's tough.
I went to Mass for Richie. Richie grew up behind a bowling alley. He and his wife bought their first house when he was a baby still. He was in his 20s, I guess, behind the bowling alley on Moss Mill Road, and he was always there. And there was a letter that the priest shared with us from one of his students that I guess was having some issues. No names are going to be mentioned. The young man was having some issues. And Richie spent a lot of time with this young man, and and he wrote him a letter when he graduated, thanking Richie for making him the man he was today, and he wouldn't accomplished what he accomplished and have the chance of a future if it wasn't for Corporal Jones. Correct, Chief?
Believing in him when the child couldn't believe in himself.
Yep. So Richie did touch a lot of lives at that school. Dawn touched a lot of lives in her program. And two huge hearts. Smaller people, but monster hearts, and they will be missed. All right. Anything else? Anything else for the good of the order? With that, can we get a motion to adjourn?
Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, I received something during, after my report, and I need to share with council, so I need a 5-minute of closed to end with. Just 5 minutes.
We will not be coming back into open because we will not have to take an action.
We'll be coming back into open just to adjourn, but we won't be taking any action in open.
All right. So then with that, since we won't adjourn, can I get a motion to
And
go
it's
into
to
closed
discuss-
session for
it's to
5 minutes?
Discuss something, contract negotiations or lease negotiations.
Motion to go into closed.
Joni. Second rodeo. All in favor?
Aye.
We're now in closed. We're going to come out of closed just to adjourn. It's a formality, but we have to do it. No action will be taken. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hotline.
Bat phone.
Bat phone.
That's never rang
Ever.
Answer.
Perfect timing.
Say hello. Say hello.
You too.
Chick-fil-A, how may I help?
Chick-fil-A, I'll answer that.
It's Jimmy Bertino. He's calling.
Wait a minute.
You.
He went, I went light on it.
Okay. of Education has authority, final say on that.
All right, could I have a motion to come out of closed session, please?
So moved.
Sorry,
Second.
Livo and
Second.
Oliva, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now out of closed session. With that, and all our business is complete, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Oliva, discussion, all in favor, signify by aye.
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 Opposed? We're adjourned. Good night, Hammonton.
John.
Thank you. Sorry
Got a
about
minute?
that.
Yep.